Hi, my name is Jean-Michel Lemieux, and I'm going to show you a quick demo of the new Noteworthy features in Rational Team Concert 202. So our first stop is going to be at what we call the Simplified Scrum template that we've added to RTC. The Simplified Scrum template here is a lot simpler for small teams getting started. There's no team areas. Plans are created automatically, and the plan types that are created automatically make it a lot easier to really just get up and started. The old Scrum template is around, so if you want to use a bit more complicated Scrum template that we had before, that's doable. So let's just click into the Scrum template or a product that's been created with it. And you can see here the dashboards have been updated a bit to have more layered dashboards, so you can see release type dashboards and sprint, so different layers of abstraction based on looking at your project. A set of plans have been pre-created, so we have a new plan type called a backlog. We'll see a bit later how to configure those, and you can see sprint and release plannings have been created. So let's just jump into the actual release plan. There's a bunch of planning web UI work that's done. You can see here that you can quickly navigate between different plans. You can also click through to release plans, easily add items to the release plans. So in this case, what we've enabled is we can actually show execution items, tasks, stories all on the same release plan. So we can make it a lot easier for you to do some planning in the release plan mode, and decompose into stories and tasks, change the values directly in the web UI, a lot more editable values as well, drag and drop between your sprints. Previously what we used to do is we used to distinguish between stories and execution items in release plans, and we used to actually filter out the execution items. We found that for teams getting started, who have small backlogs, who really want to do some decomposition, that you can do it directly within the release plan now. And when you actually want to switch over to your iteration plan, you can directly click on the links in the web UI to do that. So you can see here that we've got this sprint backlog. So let me just switch over to the Eclipse client quickly, and I'll show you what the iteration structure looks like for the simple Scrum project. You can see here we've got a couple of sprints, and we've got that special backlog timeline. And what the backlog is for is we have a new type that you can define in the configuration. It says this is the backlog timeline. So when you associate work items with the backlog, you'll get an automatic plan created to manage your backlog. So moving on into the web UI, I'm just going to show here quickly. You can see here you can navigate to the iteration plan and your tasks are on there. So a lot more easier planning. As well, another cool feature is you can actually add existing items to the plan more easily. Before this was a bit harder to do, so you have the action directly in there. So continuing along with the web UI theme here is we've enabled write operations to be done directly in the web UI for source control artifacts. So I'm actually going to go create a folder. I'm going to add a couple of files from disks. So what you can do is directly on a stream, you can go ahead and add documents, add files, edit files. So I'm going to add an image file to begin with. You can go and actually create a comment, add a comment associated with this with a work item. So behind the scenes, it's actually going to go ahead and create a change set and deliver it to the stream. But what we're doing here is we're really targeting bringing the non-developers and the developers together so they can actually collaborate on a set of documents that are stored in the source control system in RTC. So you can go ahead and lock these documents if you want, or these files. This is using all the same functionality. It's been in 2.0 to let you do locking. But it's basically exposing this in the web UI. To make this even easier, we can actually go in and add a text file. Let's go create a simple text file, add some text to it, and we're going to go ahead and save this. So you can imagine this being an HTML document. You can go ahead and just edit this document directly in the web UI. There you have it. You've got a text file. You can go and make some quick edits to it if you want. And let's just go look at the history quickly here. You'll see the history. We've got the changes that have been done. So again, this is just a very simple rewrite UI over all the existing function that's been there before. So for those non-developers, you can now easily go in and send links around to people with documents, and they can upload, download, lock it, and do some very simple collaboration. So next couple of features I want to show, I'm going to switch back to the Eclipse UI quickly, are features related to how we do planning and how we can actually continue work in different iterations. So we've got some feedback from people around, you complete a set of work or you're not complete and you're at the end of your iteration. What do I do to make sure that I can keep time tracking accurate? And so in this case, we have two defects that are not done yet, but I want to continue working on them in another iteration. And there's a new continue in action here, and you can see a bunch of stuff happening. Basically what's happened is it's resolved the work items in the previous iteration and created new work items, or actually move the work items to the new iteration and create placeholders in the old iteration that actually track the time that was spent, so you have more accurate records that say this defect, although it took me 4 weeks or 4 days, actually 3 days of this was completed in the previous iteration. So more accurate time tracking so that you can have better reports that show that work was actually completed in different iterations. So this is really just an automation for something that people have been commonly doing to do task tracking a bit more fine-grained. Okay, so the next feature I want to show is the ability to actually create work item templates. Work item templates are a way of storing a set of work items and a template of work items that can be instantiated later on. So in this way, you can actually go and select a set of work items, and there's a new work item template action here. And you can give template a name, and the work item relationships, text, description is saved, and that's what's going to get instantiated. And you can also look at, we have two variables that get abstracted out, that get filled in when the templates are instantiated. So the template's actually saved in the project area. So when we go and instantiate a work item template, we can go and pick the project area to find the templates in, and here we've got the template created. Now we have to fill in the variables to, most of the time when you're filling in the templates, the actual plan for and who they're actually assigned to is the fields that you actually want to parameterize. So you've got work items created from the template, and the variables are substituted properly. So the last two features are enhancements to some of the advisors that we've had previously. The first one is the e-signature feature. E-signatures can now be added to state transitions as well. So let's just go add the e-signature. So when you go and edit these e-signatures characteristics on the different work item types, you'll see that we have new workflow actions that can be protected by e-signature. That's new. It used to just be approvals, and the same applies. We can now have approvals that govern state transitions as well. So you can actually say what approvals have to be in place before work item transitions to a certain iteration or a certain state. So that's new as well, and it helps you have a bit more stricter process control over the work items that you have. So there you have it. Enjoy 2.002.